Hi guys, welcome back to Kpop Talks. I'm your host, and today we're gonna do our. This is the last, no, this is the third week K-pop recap of April 2023. We have a lot of music to talk about, actually, a lot of variety, I think, and some really, I think this is a good week for boy groups, actually, and I'm really excited about it. So let's get right into it. First, we have Lil Mosh Pit and the Flicky Bang featuring PH1 with Mosh Pit. No, with Mosh Pit. How We Came. My bad. An amazing song. I love it. It might be my favorite rap song of the year. The way Flicky Bang raps on this is fantastic. His aggressiveness, his flows, his lyrics. I haven't heard somebody rap like this in Korea probably ever, honestly. He has so much personality. When he changes to autotune, he kills it. PH1 has a good verse, and again, I'm a sucker for this type of features where you have two complete different artists that work together. They have completely different ways to approach a song and do it very, very well. Apart from the comment section where they're all like PH1 fanboys, and I think rightfully so because he's a good artist. Flicky Bang carried this song. I think PH1 did a good job, but it's very, very hard, I think, to outdo PH1 on a song, considering how good he has been on around these last couple of years. And Flicky Bang did it. Amazing song. Contender for the best rap song in Korea this year, in my opinion. At least as a single, of course. Next we have NCT Dojejong with Perfume. This is a classic boy group song, in my opinion. I mean, there isn't really much to talk about in a sense because it's everything you expect from a boy group song. It's solid, it's fun, it's the vocals are good, the production is simple. You're not gonna hear anything different. But I like how they blend some R&B, some pop, some disco, some EDM. Like they did a little bit in their own way. They tried to blend in a way that it was fun. Overall, it's okay. For me personally, it's not like I really go back to it. This is not my type of song. But if you like this type of music, like I said, this R&B and pop inspired K-pop, I think you'll really enjoy it, in my opinion. Next we have Bangkok Yongguk featuring Suvi with Green. This is a completely different look for Bangkok Yongguk. I can't see his name today. Completely different song. This is something you might not expect if you're a fan of him. He normally does these very aggressive songs, but to hear him do this type of music, it's, I think, refreshing in a way, you know. It's cool to see him do this type of music, and Suvi and him fit perfectly. It's more pop, it's more upbeat. He sings a little bit more than usual, so I enjoyed quite a bit. Because I think it's important for an artist like him to showcase an ability of doing a little bit of everything. And next you have Tempest with Dangerous. I'm really happy, man. This is the first song all year I've heard from a K-pop boy group that I can legitimately say it's a very good song. It's a very good song. It's fun. There's a lot of elements of second generation K-pop, from the Infinites, from the EXOs, from the Shinies, and they take that and they're able to twist it, make it their own. And I'm happy for Tempest because I think Tempest is a very good group. You know, regardless of what maybe my opinion was on their EPs more recently, I still felt like they have a lot of talent, you know, and I think these songs showcase it perfectly. You know, how many groups can say they can pull out a song like this from, you know, a smaller demographic, smaller group? For a smaller group, it's very hard, I think. You know, a bigger group can get away with anything, really. But I think for a smaller group, you know, when you're trying to still gain fans, popularity, you're still hungry for success in a way. You know, it's hard to do that. So congrats to them, and I really, really like it. It's fun. It's surprisingly very catchy, and the rapping sections work. You know, which I think for some of the other boy group songs we're gonna talk about in this video, it's not really the case. Next, we have Kid Millie with Bora. Honestly, it's a good song by Kid Millie. I mean, I definitely recommend you to go listen to the project because he had one of the best projects, in my opinion, of this month. It has a great range. You know, you can feel he has grown a lot as an artist. So it's cool to see him really push himself, sing a little bit more, try some different type of productions. You know, different flows this year. It has been a good year, I think, for him. So I'm really happy. Definitely check his music. Definitely check this song, and I think this song will take you to, in my opinion, one of the best hip hop projects, let alone in Korea, I think, around the world. Because this year, I think hip hop specifically, whether from America, anything, has been very on the low. So it's cool to see somebody from Korea really bring the best out of hip hop this year in a different manner than what you normally expect from a Kid Millie. I think that's really cool. Next we have Inata Zaka 46. I'm gonna botch the fuck out of this. Tomoyo Ichiban Boshida This song is the song that is for Kageyama. She's about to graduate from the group. She's gonna move on, I assume, to work in television, specifically in the sport section, because she's really, really good at it. Her story is very interesting because she started with the group, she did a couple of years, then her parents wanted her to enter a very high academic university. She tried for 2 years, she couldn't make it. She came back right towards the end of the first pandemic, and she's been active ever since. And specifically through the World Cup, she became a huge figure in Korea in the soccer community. So I expect her to do great work there because she's really good and she's very, very knowledgeable. But it's a sad feeling, Hinata Zaka compared to Kiyakizaka, even though they're a younger group, or now Sakurazaka, they didn't have a lot of graduation. I mean, they had at this point, I think, 3 or 4, right? And you can say Kakizaki was because of a stalker, Iguchi because of a relationship, so these were not really related to work. You can say even more important, there were even bigger issues in a way, not necessarily for Iguchi, but more for Memi, because when you have a stalker, it's harder to deal that in a real life, specifically in countries like Japan. But apart from Watanabe Miyu and her, nobody really graduated from the group, so it's nice to see her active. It's nice to see her, with they dedicated this song to her, doing it in a stadium because she loves football, and all her highlights. It kind of makes me sad, but at the same time I'm happy because I know she's gonna do great. And she's one of these people that, you're not worried about what they're gonna do in the future. Normally, when an artist retires, you can be worried, but for her, she's gonna kill it. She's too smart and too good at what she does outside of being an idol, that she's gonna kill it regardless. But it's sad, but at the same time I'm happy. It's a weird feeling. But overall, for an Hinata Zaka song, it's pretty standard in that sense. Next we have Blue with Muse. I'm pretty sure I've heard Blue music somewhere in the past, maybe. Now I can't really remember. The song is fine. Not the biggest fan of his voice, not the biggest fan of the production, but it's definitely a fun song. I think it has a lot of personality. It's definitely a fine listen. I don't think there's anything really inherently wrong with it, but I wouldn't necessarily go back to it because I'm not the biggest fan of this type of songs. And like I said, because I don't like the way he utilizes his vocals in here, it's hard for me to really go back to the song as maybe I would in other cases for other groups, like even Tempest, right? Maybe I don't love the vocals of some members as much, but the song itself is way more enjoyable for me. This type of music, if the vocals don't hit, it's very hard to me really decide, like just keep listening to it regardless. It's very hard. But maybe to you guys, you will prefer it and you will love it more than me. Next we have 2 songs from Penomeko featuring Zico, both of them, and one of them is Rindaman and the other one is Pew. What can I say? They're good songs. Both songs have really good beats. In both songs, Penomeko does a good job, but in both songs, he get outshone by Zico. Simple as that. Zico keeps proving being one of the best rappers in Korea, one of the most, I think, versatile rappers in Korea in terms of flows, in terms of lyrics. I mean, he's one of the few guys I can really say his lyrics are consistently good. You're rarely gonna get into a Zico song and think, man, these lyrics are shit. It's very, very rare. So I'm happy he's back. I don't know why he decided that he's gonna be the CEO of a K-pop group. Maybe he can't really decide that's not his company anymore. He sold it to Hype. But we'll see how it goes. But as a rapper, he's still one of the best in Crazy. And Penomeko, honestly, he did good. Maybe undermining him a little bit, but when Zico does this good, it's hard to really praise you. It's somewhat the effect of last year with J. Cole and Benny the Butcher, when everybody was saying that, oh, J. Cole, and people kind of forgot Benny. And I don't want to do that with Penomeko because I don't think he deserves it, honestly. Next we have Alice with Showdown. I mean, honestly, this is a very underwhelming song. There's nothing about this song that speaks interest in me in any way. It's very generic. The rapping is very generic. They wanted to have a comeback, cool, but again, I'm a believer that you should try to do something a little bit different here and there. But it's not a bad song. It's just that you can close your eyes, you can close your ears, and you can't tell which group is singing this, and that's kind of one of the biggest problems that I've always had with fourth generation groups in general, which is not their fault, obviously. It's their company's fault. Next we have Dripping with Seven Sins. A good song. It's straight up a good song. Good production, I like the way they played with the vocals. I like how they played with the chorus. You know, this kind of like fragmented production in the chorus that allows you to hear the singing very, very well. Normally in K-pop, there's this tendency of putting the production over the vocals, sometimes even to hide it. That's not the case for Dripping. I really like it. The music video is really good. It reminds me of VIX in a lot of ways. It reminds you of early, like not early, but like 2015 VIX, 2014 VIX with the concepts and the style and the aesthetics. And they've done a good job. Are they from the same company, VIX? Actually, I don't know. Maybe they are, so that's why they remind me of them. But yeah, it is one of their better tracks in some time, I would say. So I'm happy for Dripping, who still has one of their worst names in K-pop, but at least they're making better and better music every time they come back. That's the most important thing at the end of the day. Next we have Wondior featuring Maney with Same Shit. I mean, this is of that trap era of 2017, 2016. So it's kind of old, but at the same time, it doesn't sound bad. They both do their thing. Definitely the feature is better than the main artist. It's just that it's so forgettable production-wise, I think, and flow-wise. I think the two artists do fine. Everything else is so generic and so basic that doesn't really tell you anything about them. Doesn't make them stand out like, oh man. Like, I hear that Flicky Bang song, I never forget the song for the whole year, you know. That's not the case for this one, unfortunately. Next is George with Ore Ore Forever. This is a indie rock group, I would call them, alternative rock group. It's a solid song. I love the vibe of it. I love the vocals a lot. It's very chill. I've heard their album. It's a good album as well. So yeah, I love the vibes. I love the feels. I love the kind of nostalgic feel to it. It's a happy but also a sad song. I like their vibe a lot. So it's nice to see these acts in Korea a little bit more, and I'm also listening to them more. So definitely recommend it. I think it's a very interesting song, and I think if you want something different from your average K-pop group or average K-pop song, this is a good way to hear and see something different. Next we have Bobagan with Friend the End. I mean, it's a Bobagan song. You know, you've heard a million of these. Same production, same vocal style, same flows, same chorus. You've heard these type of songs a million times. It's boring, but it's what you expect from them now, you know? You let the mind of the group, you know, the company made a decision. You know, they decided to keep the voice and split the production, the person that wrote the songs, the person that produced the songs, right? And when you make a decision this big, the music will change, you know, the music will not evolve in a way. You know, imagine if they did that with Akmu, right? That would be terrible, right? But YG is way smarter than whoever is the CEO of their companies, of her company. So they made a decision. I think in the long run it did not pay. Yeah, it's okay. I wouldn't, if it happened in a place, I wouldn't skip it. But I mean, this is not the Bobagan we knew and loved. It's been that for 3 or 4 years, guys. Move on. And hopefully she moves on as well, because this is not something I think she can do anymore, and people can act like she's still killing it. That's the way I see it. The next one must be with Royalty. This is the worst song out of the boy groups that I've heard this week. It's very forgettable. I don't think the vocals are really that good. I'm sorry, like, I don't know, Must Be is a group that I can't say that I like. I really do. I don't like them. I don't think they've ever impressed me in a positive manner. They're very generic, unfortunately. But you know, you always wish new groups the best. You know, you never want them to like fail in any way. Next we have Jackson Wang and Ciara with Slow. Honestly, this is a good song. You know, this is something I didn't expect from Jackson. Like I already said in the past, he has improved tremendously, I think, vocally compared to when he started doing more vocals 3 years ago. He has improved a lot with his personality as an artist. Don't really have much complaints. It's a solid R&B song, pop and R&B song. There isn't really much that I would say really impresses me in terms from a production standpoint or anything like that. But at the same time, I'm happy that Jackson is trying different things, but he's actually improved. He's not the same guy he was 3 years ago. That's the best thing you can say about a guy who has tried different things, and I think for a little bit failed at them, and the last year and a half he has been really good at it, or at least good. I can't say really good because there's way better people than him doing that, but he has become a good legit artist, you know, but just sheer hard work and trial and error. You know, you have to give him that sense of credit, in my opinion. Next we have Leaking One with Predator. It's a good song, you know, it's very Taemin like, but Kingman has always been like Taemin in that sense, with his aesthetics, with his concepts and everything else. Vocal is cool, production is simple, is very low, you know, is very low, kind of like kind of edgy, but at the same time it's upbeat, you know. So it kind of still like makes you involved while listening to it, doesn't bore you as much. Don't necessarily love his performance, honestly. I think it's okay. But overall, as a song, it's a solid 6 out of 10. I can't say it's bad. Next, we have Park Jae-jung with Let's Say Goodbye. I mean, I saw my man on I Live Alone recently because I'm rewatching a lot of episodes I haven't watched. It's a good ballad. So if you like ballad, this is a really good one. Amazing vocals. I mean, Park Jae-jung is a very good singer. People might forget that when they see him on television, but he's a very good singer. Next we have Ryu Sejong X Lovely with Gravity Girl. Really good song. I mean, she hasn't had a comeback. I think this is her first single ever since she left Lovely. I might be wrong. But as personality, I think this type of music really fits her. This girly, kind of like cutesy type of stuff really fit well with her. And her vocals are really good. You wouldn't expect such a good performance in this type of song from her. And it's a very nice enjoyable listen. And she has another song actually that I decided to include in this video, which is Love and Hate, and it has a completely different vibe. But in that vibe that is completely different, she's able still to really be herself. You know, that's very hard to do in my opinion. So great job by her, great job by the producers that know how to work with her, the writers and everybody else. The company she's with really understands her skills and her abilities and what makes her unique as an artist. So overall, I really enjoyed both songs and I would recommend them. And finally, we have Augusti, the highly anticipated Augusti with Hegum. Really good, honestly. This is a good single, finally. Aggressive, great rapping. I still think that a lot of times Suga really doesn't say anything in a lot of these lyrics. I mean, he says a lot of big words just for the sake of saying them. But the flow is sick, the production is really good. Maybe too repetitive in certain aspects, but you know, it's overall a good song in my opinion. Really good song. They spent a shitload of money on this music video. Like they shot in a million locations. There's a million actors. They shot in China, I'm pretty sure. Or Hong Kong, whatever they were. So yeah, the song is good, and honestly I enjoyed the album quite a bit, apart from a couple songs that again feel out of place, but this is definitely better than D1 in my opinion. It's a good step up, so, and this song is really good compared to the one with IU, which felt very forgettable and just for the sake of getting streams really. And actually the Far East Asian Tigers with Look Back. This is my first time hearing them, and I don't know if they're being inspired in any way by AKG, Asian Kung Fu Generation, because they remind me of them a lot, specifically the way they sing, the way they use like their guitar riffs and stuff like that. It's a good song. I mean, it's nice to hear like actual rock song, you know, from a K-rock group. You know, that it's not trying to be mainstream, it's not fusing with pop music, it's straight up rock. And I love the vocals of the singer. They're very good. They're rough, they're raw, you know, they're green, which means you can always improve on them. So overall, I enjoyed it. It's not the best rock song I've ever heard, but I've always said, I think in Korea, rock music has always been very mediocre at best. So in my opinion, to hear something done very well, I have to give them credit. I have to say good job. You know, I can't say it's bad in any way. So I think it's good, and I think, you know, honestly, I've said already the last 2 years I've heard good rock music in Korea, so hopefully it's a good start, because I think post COVID, a lot of the smaller artists are pushing the boundaries a little bit, you know, overall. So I think it's cool to see smaller groups doing it. Simple video, simple as fuck, and the song just hits good. So I'm happy for that. And this was it for the third week of April. And this is it for the third week of April. I think a lot of quality, a lot of good solo stuff. If I had to tell you my favorites, let me check 1 second really fast. Obviously, you have to have in that list Lil Mosh with Flicky Bang for How We Came, Tempest with Dangerous. I would say Penomeko Pew featuring Zico is very good. 7 Seas Dripping is good, I have to be honest. George Ore Forever. And Ryu Sejong with Grabby Girl and Love or Hate. Even Hangum by August, it's a good song overall. The worst songs obviously are Must Be with Royalty and One Dior and Many, same shit there, and Alice Showdown. I think they're by far the worst songs I've heard this week overall. Hopefully I can drop this video maybe tomorrow, so it will come out Wednesday, the last week of April, and I can already start preparing. So by the 1st or 2nd of May, I already dropped the best and worst albums, because I still have some albums to listen to, not that many that I'm interested in, but you know, there's been a really good quality projects this month, like way more than March, way more than February. I don't think as much as January, but definitely I think this month has produced the best projects of the year, some of the best projects of the year, I think, and I wouldn't be surprised if half of them will be in my top 20, top 30, whatever, at the end of the year. So having said that, if you enjoyed the video, leave a comment, like, and subscribe, and see you next video, see you next time, whenever that will be, honestly.